I second the motion by Honorable Sirma. We need to operationalize our CDF offices by ensuring that we have the legally certified people in these offices, Honorable Speaker. I will just call upon the Attorney General that once we have approved these names, they move and gazette so that they can move and start working, Honorable Speaker. Two, Honorable Speaker, on the CDF aspect, for some time now, Treasury has been playing with this House. And as an assembly, Honorable Speaker, we must be firm. It becomes worse and gets worse, Honorable Speaker, when they use you as a shield, Honorable Speaker. That every other time when members are aggressive, they want them to deliver on their timelines, Honorable Speaker, they come and in a way plead with you to come and talk to us, which, Honorable Speaker, we accept. But they don't live by the part of bargain, Honorable Speaker. As we speak, most students in our universities are starting exams this week, Honorable Speaker. We do not have money for bursaries. It is a crisis, Honorable Speaker. Treasury is not responding. They have given us promissory notes and that have expired and now they don't have a face. I want to call upon members of this House that we freeze any operations, any business of this House, and we call the Minister for Finance to come and give us CDF money in full, Honorable Speaker. As we speak, we cannot even go to our constituencies because the questions we are being asked, Honorable Speaker, we do not have answers. But we have a minister who's been one of us. Apparently, I don't know, when you cross the other side, because we don't know what happens the other side. When immediately members cross the other side, they completely forget the problems of wananchi on the ground. So, Honorable Speaker, I am appealing to this House, Honorable members, that we freeze the business of this House for the sake of children of Kenya, that we cannot transact. We cannot continue transacting, Honorable Speaker, because people want to lynch Honorable Sirma. Sirma has no answers. Sirma is equally suffering the way we are suffering, Honorable Speaker. Members, I want to appeal that let's suspend this sitting until we have Honorable Mbadi to come and give us the money in full. And Honorable Speaker, for now, we want to appeal to you that remove that shield they have been using, because they know we respect you, Honorable Speaker. They come through you. Tell Mbadi to come and tell us where is the money. Honorable members, as I second, I move that we freeze the business of today and we continue after Mbadi has given us money. Thank you. I second, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, for the record, before I propose the question, since last week's mention of a similar issue and the concern that the distinguished member for Bumula is raising, I directed the clerk to get in touch with the PS Finance. I also directed the majority leader to get in touch with Treasury. And as I proposed the question and subsequently put the question, I direct the majority leader to bring a statement to the House tomorrow at 2:30 to assure the House on the levels of disbursements of CDF so that your constituencies can continue functioning. Paralyzing the House may be too drastic and may not necessarily solve the problem, Honorable Amboka. Hold your horses to tomorrow 2:30.
Can we have the minister, Honorable Speaker?
I have to propose the
Honorable Speaker.
Order.
Can we just have the minister here instead of having a response? Can you just direct, for the sake of this House, because I have also put your name at disrepute, Honorable Speaker. If we didn't know you as your members, we would be having problems with you. But now we know you and have been using you as a shield. Can we have Honorable Mbadi here tomorrow, Honorable Speaker, with due respect?
I'll direct the majority leader to search for and find the Honorable Mbadi and deliver him to the House at 2:30 tomorrow.
Minority Leader.
Honorable members, I'll now propose the question at order number 11, which that pursuant to the provisions of section 43(4) of the National Government Constituency Development Fund Act 2015 and paragraph 5, 2, and 10 of the National Government Constituency Development Fund Regulations 2016, this House approves the list of nominees for appointment to the following 37 constituency committees of the National Government Constituency Development Fund. The 37 constituencies and all the nominees are set out in the order paper. I put the question, and I put the question at order number 11, which is that pursuant to the provisions of section 43(4) of the National Government Constituency Development Fund Act 2015 and paragraphs 5, 2, and 10 of the National Government Constituencies Development Fund Regulations 2016, this House approves the list of nominees for appointment to the following 37 constituency committees of the National Constituency Development Fund as set out in the order paper for both the constituencies and the nominees. As members of that opinion say aye. Will those of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next.
Order number 12, motion, consideration of Senate amendments to the Houses of Parliament Bicameral Relations Bill, National Assembly Bill number 44 of 2023.
Honorable members, as we go to order number 12, once we dispose of order number 12, the manner in which we dispose of order number 12 will determine the fate of order number 13. Then we have order number 14, which I'm told is a very short order. After that, I'll direct that we reorganize the order paper to move order number 17 to precede order number 15, and thereafter we shall move sequentially as listed on the order paper. Chepkonga.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I wish to move that the Senate amendments to the Houses of Parliament Bicameral Relations Bill, National Assembly Bill number 44 of 2023 be now considered. Mr. Speaker, this is a bill that originated from this House. This is a bill that contains a raft of proposals, Mr. Speaker, to guide the bicameral relations between the two houses. Mr. Speaker, I will be requesting the House to agree with the Committee of Justice and Legal Affairs to reject the proposed amendments from the Senate. Because those amendments, Mr. Speaker, water down the bill and seeks to amend the Constitution through the back door. Mr. Speaker, just to recast what were the issues that were contained in the bill that we passed in this House. Mr. Speaker, this bill was first published in 2023. And Mr. Speaker, the bill sought to amend, sought to give effect to Articles 109, 110, 113, 114, and 118 of the Constitution to foster the bicameral relations by prescribing procedures for ensuring seamless consideration of the legislative business of both houses of Parliament. In particular, Mr. Speaker, the bill sought to outline, one, to outline a framework to implement Article 110 of the Constitution, which has been a basis of disputes between the two houses. As you know, Mr. Speaker, this particular article has been of serious and tremendous contention between the two houses as to the manner in which we should consider various bills in light of Article 110(3) of the Constitution. Number two, Mr. Speaker, the bill that was sent to the Senate proposed parameters for the speakers of parliament to consider when determining whether a bill concerns county government. And thirdly, the bill sought to encourage collaboration by permitting co-sponsorship of bills between members of the National Assembly and the Senate. It also outlines procedures for joint proceedings, mediation, and joint committees of parliament. Mr. Speaker, as you are aware, there has not been a procedure in the standing orders of both houses, the National Assembly and the Senate, that allows members of both houses to sponsor a bill, to co-sponsor a bill. As it is, like for instance, we were seeking to co-sponsor the constitutional amendment on the entrenchment of the various funds in the Constitution. But the standing orders do not allow members of the other house to co-sponsor that bill with us, Mr. Speaker. And fourthly, the bill proposed that was passed and sent to the other house for joint public participation. As you are aware, Mr. Speaker, the various committees have been, this house has been conducting public participation on a number of raft of bills. And the other house, the Senate, Mr. Speaker, considers also the bills that touch on the counties that are sent to the other house. And they restart the whole process of Article 118, wasting public funds. And so this bill was seeking to introduce a procedure for ensuring that we do not duplicate public participation in an effort to pass a number of bills. And finally, Mr. Speaker, the bill also required both houses, to adopt what we call alternative dispute resolution. Mr. Speaker, as you are aware, there has been a rush by the other house in many instances to seek court's interpretation on a number of issues that this house has passed. This house has never taken the Senate to the judiciary or to judicial process. Mr. Speaker, instead of us sitting down and agreeing on our issues, Mr. Speaker, the Senate has been rushing to the courts of law to seek protection from the judiciary, which is another arm of government, instead of people seeking to resolve their issues that are of interest to the people of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, this has been completely out of order, and this bill sought to resolve those issues, Mr. Speaker. And having considered the amendments, having the Department Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs, having considered the amendments, they are proposed to reject the amendments as proposed by the Senate. And Mr. Speaker, I will be requesting the Honorable Murugara to second this particular motion, and he will give the reasons for proposing the rejection. I have gone through the report, Mr. Speaker, and the report, Mr. Speaker, is very succinct and very cogent in the reasons that they are provided for the rejection of the proposed amendments to the bill that was approved by the House. Honorable Speaker, I am in complete agreement with that report. Mr. Speaker, so that we do not spend a lot of time, I just want to truncate to what I consider to be very important. Mr. Speaker, in the recent decision by the Supreme Court, arising from an appeal from the Court of Appeal by the Senate, in which it had sued the National Assembly on a number of bills that had been passed by this House without referring them to the Senate, in which we considered, Mr. Speaker, that there were bills that had nothing to do with the county governments. And Mr. Speaker, they took us to the High Court in the first instance. And the High Court invalidated 23 acts of parliament that had been passed by this House. The Court of Appeal similarly also made an attempt to invalidate those legislation. But when we go to when the appeal went to the Supreme Court, Mr. Speaker, the Supreme Court, in its decision and finding, found that 21 acts of parliament had nothing to do with the Senate, including the National Constituency Development Fund. They found these particular legislations to have been within the remit of the National Assembly. And so, Mr. Speaker, the various orders that were sought by the Senate were all summarily dismissed, Mr. Speaker. And I just want to mention, for the avoidance of doubt, Mr. Speaker, the orders that were sought and were dismissed by the Supreme Court. That they sought that a mandatory injunction be issued against the National Assembly from considering bills that touch on county and that have not been referred to the National Assembly. Number two, Mr. Speaker, they sought to invalidate 21 acts of parliament to be unconstitutional. The Supreme Court found that the 21 acts of parliament were indeed constitutional, and they rejected that particular request by the Senate. The Senate, the Supreme Court also found that the Senate had no role in the origination, consideration, and enactment of money bills, Mr. Speaker, as per Article 110 of the Constitution. And fourthly, they found also that the National Assembly has the exclusive role in the origination, consideration, and enactment of money bills, Mr. Speaker. And finally, this was the order of the Supreme Court, that the constitutionality of the Parliamentary Service Act was not in issue and could not therefore be considered by the Supreme Court. And that was left for the determination by the High Court. Mr. Speaker, the findings of the Supreme Court, which I have just mentioned, are therefore critical to the consideration of the Senate amendments that have been proposed to this House, Mr. Speaker. And those amendments, Mr. Speaker, ran afoul and completely in contravention of the finding and the decision of the Supreme Court, Mr. Speaker. I wish to laud the Supreme Court for the stoic decision and guidance that they have given in finality, Mr. Speaker, and setting the record straight in ensuring that there's a harmonious relationship between the two houses, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I just want to mention this in closing. Mr. Speaker, recently we passed a request from the IEBC selection panel in which they sought for an extension of 14 days. This House passed that request, Mr. Speaker. When it went to the Senate questioned the manner in which that proposal was sent to this House. In fact, they said that the Speaker of this House ought not to have received it and ought not to have forwarded to the House. Mr. Speaker, this request was made to the Speaker in his capacity as the chairman of the Parliamentary Service Commission. So to question the law in which both houses passed, Mr. Speaker, I found it to be a zero-sum game and argument by the Senate. And in fact, seeking to impeach the character of the Speaker. I found it, Mr. Speaker, to be completely out of turn, throwing tantrums that were completely unnecessary. In fact, the mover of that particular request, the Senator, my very good friend, Senator Kalwale, said he doesn't even know why he was moving it. And yet he was moving it, Mr. Speaker. In fact, I thought a little bit, and I thought, is it a joke or something like that of the century? That someone is moving a request and he says he doesn't know why he's moving it. And they eventually passed it, Mr. Speaker. So, you know, some of these things that are completely contradictory, that this bill was seeking to bring to rest. And so, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to request this House that we completely agree with the proposals of the Committee of Justice and Legal Affairs to reject the amendments that have been proposed by the Senate, because it seeks to amend the Constitution through the back door. They are seeking to amend Article 109(3) of the Constitution. They are seeking to amend Article 114 of the Constitution. They are seeking to amend Article 110 of the Constitution that gives power to this House. Mr. Speaker, we were not proposing this bicameral relations bill so that the Senate proposes amendments that will water down the constitutional provisions without amending the Constitution. If they want to amend the Constitution, Mr. Speaker, let them bring them the proposed amendment to the Constitution, and they must comply with the requirements of amendments to the Constitution. With those remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move and request the Honorable Murugara to second.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, allow me to second.